watching it back, even before I got to the episode where you started struggling a little bit, it almost felt like your attitude was like, why am I doing this again? Like, why are y'all here? Why are we doing
Yes,
this again? This
that's
is
how it
crazy.
was.
It
No,
was that
honestly,
way.
I was like, to me, there's nothing more that I can do. I didn't feel to let you know. It started to feel like it was a game. Like second season, it started to feel like it was turning into bull crap. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm like, I am older. I got real bills to pay. Y'all not paying money. I'm here for now damn near 2 years now. Make the damn band. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing? That's really how I started feeling. For real. You was right about that.
Now, of course, the first season had came out, so people know you. Were you making good money, like getting bookings and booking jobs and stuff like that before you guys came back to film the second season?
I was, but the thing was, you was kind of limited on a lot of the stuff that you could do because you was still on call at any given moment that you don't know when you're going to the show. So I was getting like
Oh,
hosting gigs
dang.
and doing this and doing that, but it's only so much you can do when MTV can call you and be like, tomorrow you got to be back. You know what I mean? Like, and
Mhm.
then I don't remember like my exact contract, but I know they were all like, we couldn't talk about stuff, we couldn't do it. Was like a lot of rules to being on there as far as um the disclosures and things that you have to, it is when you're working with a show.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Were you intimidated at all when you saw the new batch? As Lorianne described it, a new batch of kittens ready to lick
Lick up
that
that
milk.
milk. I wasn't. I never was. Like, I never been that type of person. I feel like, so fun fact that people never knew, I had like my mom was a breast cancer survivor. So right before the show started, I had to get like a tissue or something. It ended up being nothing, but they had to go into my chest area and remove it. And it was this patch, and I had stitches and all of that.
Mhm.
I came back to the show, but I never told them that. I don't want to be like the old girl with a breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? So when I first came back, I was like kind of out of it a little bit, but I didn't want to express that. I didn't want to say, like, I didn't want to lead on to, I'm over here with stitches up under my chest and I can't really dance that hard and I'm actually in a lot of pain. I just wanted to like push through. I literally never told nobody that happened to
Oh,
me. And it was
wow.
literally like days before I came back. That's what was going on with me too. And I was just kind of like mentally getting over it because it started. When we came back, they made the house hella small. Remember, they had
It was
like,
stripped.
yeah, it was crazy. And that's when I was like, oh, they trying to like make us fight. It started feeling like a reality show versus the competition that was real before we left. And I was just kind of, yeah, I was kind of getting burnt out. Like, make the band because my daughter tuition due, my rent due, my car it got repoed. What's going on?
Really?
I don't think it got repoed. I think I just left the car behind. Like, I think I got pulled over and it got towed the same day that I was leaving, and I never even looked into it because I'm like, I'm gonna make the band. Don't worry about it. I'll be driving the Bentley by next month.
I know women in my life who've had to go get checked for breast cancer and they've had to go through that procedure where they go into the chest and they pull out tissue. From firsthand experience, I know that is a very strenuous procedure for
Right.
anyone to go through. And typically, you have to be down almost a week before you can attempt to do anything. So the fact that you have that done and you went back into filming and being someone who's done TV, that means you had to pack, you had to fly, you had to sit, you had to get ready, you had to lift, you had to do all those things. Girl, I am
And not say
applauding you
nothing and
and not
act
saying,
like everything was good. Yeah.
yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense on why you were kind of over it. That makes sense. On top of you have been doing it for some time, you weren't getting paid, your life wasn't necessarily experiencing a big upgrade financially because you're here trying to get that upgrade. So I understand.
Yes. It was a lot.
Which I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but when you got eliminated, you said if he wasn't going to pick me, I'm glad he let me go now.
So I could go handle my business. Don't
That's
keep
what you
stringing me
said.
along. Yeah. I was like, honestly, I was so skinny. I be looking at me on those things, and I was so skinny. Do I look much bigger now?
I mean, do you want me to say that? I'm like, do you want me to say that? I mean, you look amazing. You look amazing.
Oh God, that's like, is my child cute? He's so precious. You giving me the precious moment.
Oh
I
my
gained
god.
since then. I've gained 40 pounds though.
I mean, shit, we got to eat around here, Malika,
Yeah.
okay? Fuck
Um.
it. We got to
Yeah.
eat. Okay. Early in the group singing rehearsal with Doc, it appeared as if you were struggling with harmonizing, and to us, you were the low man on the totem pole within that group. What was the roadblock for you?
I just wasn't good at harmonizing in real life. I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still a person. If you're in the studio and you feed me the line, I
Mm-hmm.
can sound amazing. But just for some reason, and I was working on that, like just busting in and blending into that harmony. I'm good when I'm singing lead. Like now, when I do shows and I'm the lead singer and people have to blend in with me, it's good. But in real life, I just really had problems doing harmonies. Like, it's no way to sugarcoat it.
I studied music at Morehouse. I've been a singer all my life. Harmony is something that is developed. Being able to harmonize is something that is developed over time. And me having
Yeah.
sung in church all my life, I sang in the Glee Club at Morehouse. My degree is in the voice and conducting. I
Yeah.
still have to be conscious about harmonizing when I'm singing.
Yeah, some people have it like that, but I feel like once I have my note right, my voice is butter. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's got the raspy, it's different. I love it once I get it right, and I just love it. But I think baby girl was kind of enjoying the fact that I wasn't catching on as much. Dominique,
You think she was enjoying it?
you know, you seen it.
I would say she was enjoying it. Watching it, it seemed like she was frustrated. Now I could be wrong because I'm watching it and you were actually
Maybe
there.
that was it. Frustrated.
It seemed like she was
Maybe.
frustrated that you couldn't get it, and I felt like it was because they wanted the group to do well so that
Yeah.
the group doesn't get in trouble.
Right. It was just honestly, you read the room very correctly. Like at that point, I'm just like, what's the gag? Like for real, what's going on? That's how I was feeling. Like it was just you had to like leaving all that I had went through up until that, and then to tell us we didn't make a band and go home, and then be off for like 2 or 3 months, and then come back again, and y'all can make the house look like jail, and it's all the new girls. I'm just like, well, hold on, it's not too much more I can give y'all at this point. You know what I mean? To me, it should have been me, Aubrey, and Andrea on hold, waiting for two new girls to add in with us.
Mm. But then
Yeah,
I guess in their eyes, how were they going to see how you guys would blend?
right. That's true. Well, just keep working till they blended it in, because I was just like,
Going
baby.
back to the singing challenge in Times Square, you guys seem to pull it together, and you seem to like do a great job from
Yeah.
at least the edit that we saw. What do you remember about that day, and how were you guys able to pull it together so quickly?
That day, you know what I love about that? You just have to do what you have to do. And again, that was one of those moments where I saw that pushing myself the extra mile, because literally I had lost my voice. I don't even know that day how I was singing, because I felt I did never forget thinking, like, if I was at home, if I was in Oakland, and this was just something that I had to do on my own, I probably would have called in sick or said, hey, I can't do it today or whatever. But again, that's the whole Diddy effect of pushing your limits beyond what you can imagine, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where that voice came from, but it was gone. I didn't have any voice. So I somehow got to Times Square and started singing. But I felt like if it would have just been me making that decision, I would have been at home in the bed, sucking on the Ricola, squeezing lemon and honey and stuff. But somehow, some way, I made it there, and my voice was pulling it through, because I could not talk that morning at all. That was crazy.
You made it through Times Square. You guys had another eval that night where you guys had to sing before Diddy. Your group, it wasn't the best, but you weren't the worst as well.
Yeah.
But then we get to the next episode, and it's now the dancing challenge to Shayla
Yes.
Dennis's I Love You. I love
Yes.
you. Malika, what happened?
So what had happened was that day, Diddy came up to our house, clacking pots. Everybody,
This
let's
wasn't
go,
on the
let's
show.
go, let's
What?
go. That didn't, no, they didn't show that on the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Literally 5 minutes to be downstairs in the van. No matter where you was at in your life, no matter what you was doing, you had 5 minutes to get down into that van. Period. Now, I put on, he didn't tell us what we was doing, where we was going, or anything. I put on, I don't know how you call those pants. I call it the scratchy material, almost like this, but a sweatpants, right? You don't really work out in that. I had on some tennis shoes that was like super flat. They were kangaroos. I just wasn't ready to, they were like those boxing kangaroos. And that's when we found out we had to run. So he said, and don't stop. Don't stop, can't stop. And I was like,
Bad
okay, so
boy.
whoever stopped is gonna get eliminated. That's what I thought. I thought whoever was gonna stop from that run that we had to do around the reservoir, that was gonna be the way that he was gonna eliminate you. So I literally ran that run without stopping one time. It was hella hot outside. My pants was sticking to me. I was sweating profusely. I was drinking water from people that I didn't know. Like it was crazy. Um, then when we get in the car, I never forget this day like it was yesterday, and I'm thankful for it now. Like I was sweating so much that it just wouldn't stop. It was just like it wouldn't stop. Like I just never pushed myself to that limit. And then we pull up to the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, and now we got to do the routine. So imagine I just pushed myself to a limit that I've never done in my life, period. Then you get there, and now they don't show y'all he was rotating us out. I probably did that step 30 times before I did the mess up. He was like, bring this
Really?
girl, bring this girl. They were rotating it and rotating it and rotating it and rotating it and rotating it. So on that day, I was a step behind or a step forward, but I was very confident because I was like, I practiced the step, I knew the step, and I was like, and when I looked, I was on the wrong step. But I also feel like they had already decided really that they wasn't going to pick me by that point. And I think Lorianne wasn't there. I think Lorianne didn't even want to be there when it happened. I think it was easier for Diddy because he was never really interacting with us anyway. So that was what happened. Like I really knew the dance step that day. Obviously, I didn't because I was a step behind, but I was very confident. I'm like, oh shit, I had missed a step. And then Johnny Wright was like, and you displayed it or whatever. But at the end of the day, I feel like it was all politics. Like honestly, when we had to do that, then we had to do that routine. I would say in and out, transferring us, like moving it around. Each girl probably did the routine like at least 20 times after running. This is all in
So
the same breath.
so on the show it makes it look like you did it like a couple times, but how many times did you actually dance that routine that day?
Probably like 20, maybe I'm over exaggerating, maybe like 12, because he kept rotating it. Bring Malika back. Bring, you know how he kept rotating it? He showed the rotation. Of course, they probably couldn't show y'all that in the time that
Hmm.
it would take, but it just wouldn't stop. It was just like, what the hell is going on here? And you still kind of tired as hell from running as long as I ever ran in my life 10 minutes ago.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was very strenuous. And then the psychology like of it where you're stressing out because you know this is going to be an elimination. So
And so you get eliminated. I remember being really sad. I was like, oh, Malika's not here no more. Like, oh my God. Like it was like a blow. What do you remember about what you felt knowing that this dream of getting in the band was no longer a thing now?
I felt right in that moment, I almost felt like relieved, like it's over. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make it because I had kind of started having those little feelings of it all starting to feel like reality TV. Um, but in the realest way still, because they never gave us the storyline, but it was just little things that they was throwing in there as a monkey wrench. And I just started feeling like like I said, if you don't want me and you don't think that you can see me in there, let me go now. Cause this, y'all right. I am too old for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, we not getting really paid. Y'all not gonna, if I'm not making it anyway, I was figuring, let me try to just be cute as I can be at this point. Cause I was looking such a hot mess in the beginning. I'm like, let me at least try to, get my TV time while I'm here. And I was sad though. Like looking back, I wish I would have went and like talked to Diddy afterwards just to say, like, let me stay in New York. Let me come to the studio afterwards or something. I was disappointed, relieved, overwhelmed, emotional, sad, happy. It was a lot. Like you could just imagine all of the stuff just like thinking about it that night. And where did they take me after that? I think we went to a hotel or something. But yeah, it was a lot of emotions. Every emotion that you can feel that day, I felt it.
Did they ever have a psychologist or psychiatrist on staff with you guys, or like a
They
therapist?
baby, and I don't know how many times they figured out a way to ask you, do you want to kill yourself? They definitely did. Like that. I'm like, so they ask you like 1,000 different ways, or do you plan on committing suicide? They did have a psychologist. They definitely did.
Mhm.
We had to
Um,
take these little tests or something. Like we had to like fill out stuff. I
mhm.
remember us being in a room and filling out like paperwork where they were asking you questions and doing evaluations and stuff like that. It was a lot.
You get eliminated, you get sent back home, right? Like after
Mhm.
you get eliminated from the show. What does life look like for Malika now? Like she's no longer making the band, she's no longer on MTV, and she's now back in her life.
Okay, your camera had cut. So when I went back home, it was just like nobody knew for a long time because it hadn't hit the air yet. And I just
Mhm.
at that point I just started grinding, like doing hella stuff, the recording, putting out music, hosting, appearing, doing all just kind of stuff. And at that moment, my daughter, honestly, it was weird because she could not understand why we wasn't rich. Because at her
Mm.
age, whenever we go out, people are trying to take pictures with me, and it's just like you're being treated like a celebrity, but we still don't have a big pool. We not living like the Kardashians, is what she said. And I never forget her like asking me that. And it was and you hear a lot of celebrities say this too, where it's just like all the fame and the popularity was there, but the bank account wasn't adding up because it was a reality show. So I had to just hustle and grind and do what I had to do. And then it was at that point that I decided to go back to school. And I really did it mainly for my daughter, like to show her, like, okay,
Mm.
this didn't work out, but check this out. And I mean, I zipped through it, like, praise God, I zipped through it. I got my degree. I sent you some of the stuff. I have like a program that's in
Mhm.
my name at the school that I went to. I ended up getting two AA degrees. I got a degree in psychology. I was able to travel abroad. I started doing documentary and filmmaking. I had one of the first podcasts ever. Like first 50 podcasts ever. People were like, what? Watching TV on the phone was like insane. It was called the Hyphy Show. Like if you Google the Hyphy Show, I interviewed everybody. Um, and just living my life, having fun, traveling. I went back to doing hair. I went back to my modeling agency and started doing like voiceovers. And I have a Levi's, or all the curvy size Levi's are still made in my measurements, so
Oh
they know
wow.
my body. I have a mannequin that was created after me in my likeness, so I'm a fit model for Levi's. I've done a lot of little independent films and things like that. I did a workout DVD. After I lost all of that weight, everybody wanted to know what I did, so I made a workout DVD. And just traveling a lot. I have my nonprofit, so I go back and forth to Africa and do a lot of charity work in Africa. I
I
just
love
bought some
that.
property there.
Oh, you
um
popping.
I mean, I have been really, I have no complaints about life. I'm having an amazing time. I moved from Oakland to New Orleans, which was insane. Like I never would have thought that I would have done that, but I did, and I got into the vacation travel industry in 1 month. Like so thankful for that. I became like the top marketer in New Orleans, and they made me the trainer. And I mean, those checks were those were the checks that I thought I was gonna get from P Diddy. And that I've been doing ever since. So like I have tons of awards, and it's just been fun because I literally get paid to travel and give people free vacations, and I can still do my music. And where I'm at now with the music, I don't make music to hope that, you know, it would be nice to sell 1 million records, don't get me wrong. But I make what's ever on my heart. I make what's good for me. I'll shoot my videos for it, and God willing, people love it. If they don't, I did. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
love
I'm
that.
doing it for me right now. I'm not doing it like to try to make it. In my mind, I'm not like trying to make it. I'm just doing what I love to do. Living life and loving life is my hashtag right now.
I feel like I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask you anyways. Is Malika happy?
I am happy. The only part in my life that I'm not happy about is my love life. Like, I'm such a love bug. I'm such a love bug. And my love life is not where I want it to be right now. You know, I moved to New Orleans for like, if you see this, are you my husband? I'm just like, what's going on? I mean, fought for this guy. He's from Africa. We got married, and he pretty much, for lack of better terms, just like ghosted me. And he got deported, yada yada yada. Speed it up to now. I've done everything that I could do. Um, baby, listen, that lady that's sitting on TikTok telling her 50-part story, you heard about her?
Mm-hmm. Rita Tisa, ain't it?
Girl, I don't know her name, but I've got a 50-part story that if I'd have knew it was gonna do that. So it's a lot of twists and turns, but I am happy because I'm traveling. If I'm not in New Orleans, I have a loft. I have my store, Africa Love Store. That I have a business partner. The original store is in Vegas. We have Africa Love Store here in New Orleans where we sell African gifts and decor. But then we also is New Orleans, so we're always performing in the store. My dad is singing. We're having a good time. You know what I mean? And everybody's eating, everybody's traveling, everybody's, getting money to a certain extent. It's not all about money, but we're financially comfortable and stable and just having a good time. And when I'm not at home in New Orleans, I'm pretty much living at a resort. I live on vacation. So I'm just having fun. Now, y'all, I need a good man. I need a good husband. I'm ready to be a good wife to whoever's ready to accept all this greatness that I've been giving out to these people that don't appreciate it.
I love it. No, girl, I'm in the same boat. I would love to have a husband too. I would. That would be really amazing. But,
Yeah.
I just have to wait.
I mean,
We just have, Malika, we just have to wait, child. We just gotta
it's just
wait.
being patient. That's the only thing. Cause I'm such a helper and a lover and there for you type of girl. And so it's
Mhm.
just like I'm doing all these amazing things. And I just feel like I need my soulmate. I need my person with me. And I've had some great relationships. So if I never had another husband, then I would just have to just sit back and reminisce in my rocking chair about the good old days. Cause I had some good old days.
And so, looking back on it, right? We see all of these stories the people who actually made the band have shared, right? And we've seen it on TV and we've heard the stories that have happened after the television cameras went off about, them not having money, drama, beef. Do you think it worked out better that you did not make the band?
I would say no. Not for me. Because even though I just said all that I just said, no matter what, if you put all that time and energy into your music and what I've done already, that's just the point that I'm at. There's no way that I would not have wanted to say that I did a world tour, that I sold 1 million records. Like, because
Mm.
I'm me. I would have been me no matter what. You know what I mean? Like all of this shit that they
Mm.
be saying, I'm like, I'm still have always been Malika, which might be a reason why, because I'm not one of the people that was willing to twist and turn to get to the top.
Hmm.
But nah, I wish I would have made the damn band. I'm not about the front to be like people be like, you dodged a bullet. Baby, I wanted to go on a world tour and make 7 million records. Yes, I did. No matter what.
Because everything you're doing, you still would have done it.
Right. And I'm not those people. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like what
got
your
you.
story is not my story. It's just not. Like I don't move like that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I was raised with a certain mentality, and it's just I feel like you never know when you not in that position, but at the same time, I just feel like the person that I am, I still would have made the best of whatever the situation was. So when people say you feel like you know, with everything that's going on, do you feel like you dodged a bullet? No. I wanted to make the band. I wanted to go on a world tour. I wanted to have a nice ass music video. Like, you know, all the stuff that they did, I definitely would have wanted to do that. I put in the work to do that. But God is the best planner. So maybe it still might happen. You don't know.
Shit, right.
Long as
Still
we
might
still here,
happen.
baby, it ain't no telling what can happen. I still believe and still have faith, but I'm not moving like pick me. I'm like, you like it? Okay, I went to the studio. This is my jam. I'll be listening to it and I'll put it on iTunes and hopefully y'all like it.
Yes.